What's the difference in performance between, let's say, like a public sector kind of student and a student that's kind of come to Kumon? Like, do you see like a real noticeable change between the level that the kids are able to kind of operate at?
Absolutely.
New episode, hay fever's flogging me, featuring my cousin Laura, Wes and myself, talking about Kumon. She's an educator. Yeah, hope you like this episode. Some of you might need it for your kids. And yeah, just talking about the business in general. Anything coming out, Wes?
No, nothing coming out. Thank you for what, 28k on the Chisel page.
Yeah, we've hit 28k. By the time this comes out, probably on 29.
Yeah, probably on 29. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Very dope.
yeah, it's growing. Maybe even close to 30.
Yeah.
So it's growing. Thank you a lot again for that. Like, yeah, it's been good. A lot of people were saying they want an hour-long episode, so you know what I'm gonna do. On the extra channel, a week after the episode's out, yeah, we're just gonna put hour-long episodes there, the full cut. So stay tuned for that.
I think I'll put the old episodes on there as well.
Yeah.
So I'll put them, and then put them on the main channel, like an archive.
Yeah.
Like Disney's got an archive, so
Yeah,
I do.
So we're gonna
I'll do that.
we'll
Yeah,
put,
cool,
we'll
sick.
put the old cuts there, so you lot could watch 4 episodes in one go, and that way people can't say, oh yeah, it's just you get both now. Yeah. So enjoy this episode. Welcome. Where's how you feeling today?
I'm alright, man.
Yeah.
I'm alright. It's not
Sure
about me
you're tired?
today. Huh?
You sure you're not tired?
I'm always tired, bro.
You're always
You
tired.
know how it goes.
Overworked, underpaid, huh?
Yeah, it's because
That's how you
I'm
feel.
out my house, bro. I'm in the real world. I'm working. I got a job. Got bills to pay. I got to feed these
Bills
kids,
to
man.
pay. 2 children.
Facts. They're expensive, bro. Milk ain't cheap, man.
It's true. Well, today we've got a special guest. I got my cousin, my big cousin Laura. She's in education.
Hi.
We got Laura out here. She's in education. She runs 2 Cuman centers. And yeah, we're just gonna ask her how she got into the field she's in. General advice on getting into that field, what she thinks about current state of education, etc., etc. And yeah, let's start. How you feeling today, guys?
Yeah, good. Apart from the dismal weather, it's meant to be. Is it summer or spring? It's meant to be spring. And yeah, you're gonna hear people in on a rainy day. Yeah, but other than that, I'm good.
Good. So today's about you. My first question is, how did you get started in the field you're in at the moment?
Okay, so it's an interesting one actually because growing up, my parents had us being studious, working really hard. Education was priority in my household, and obviously when I had kids, I had to transfer that as well to them. And so this Kumon started because my son, who's 20 years old now, he didn't get the school of our choice. He was given by default. He was given a school that was second from the bottom on the league table. So obviously I cried myself. And then I remembered one of my colleagues, at that point I was on maternity leave. I remember one of my colleagues who used to, during lunchtime, she would mark something. And then we celebrated her son for getting into a prestigious grammar school. So I reached out to her and asked her what she did, because I need to do the same for my son, who had just been given a school that is low. She said to me, Kumon. And I did not realize that there was Kumon 6 minutes walk away from where we lived.
What's Kumon?
Kumon is an after-school English and Maths program.
Ah, okay.
So we sort of like empower students to be independent self-learners, just so that they have the ownership of, their work, etc. So I started him on that journey, and then within a month or so, the instructor said that she wanted to move back to our country. And then I proposed to buy it from her. Okay. And that's how I took it over. And that was 15 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies. So, what would you say you enjoy most about working with students in your program?
I've always had the passion for learning from my childhood, and I've always had that passion to help others. So what really, I guess, motivates me is the fact that I can see a student who thought they couldn't achieve, or maybe their parents thought they were behind, and just getting them onto the program and seeing the improvement and having them say, and now I get it. In school is good in terms of the mainstream school, because they have to do that anyway. Our program is after school. But the importance of doing something not what school is doing is you need to give them a different dimension. So in Cuman, we individualize the program. So any child with any ability can come to us. We assess them, strip out what, all the weaknesses and the strengths, capitalize on the strengths, and then look at the weaknesses and tailor the work on a daily basis. So it gives me joy to know that in a week, I know that a child would have advanced. Yeah.
So what age is it from? Because obviously you're someone there during secondary school, right?
Well, I take students from 4 years old, but primarily the Cuman program can be started as early as a child being in the stomach, in the womb. No, seriously, that's how we sold. Like, it was pioneered in Japan by a guy called Toru Cuman, where the son wasn't accelerating at school, and he decided to write out questions for him. And by doing that, and the child solving the problems, and him marking it on a daily basis, he saw the improvements. But the curriculum starts from a pregnant woman being able to sing or read to in the womb. But no, I take them from 4 years old. My center is often registered, and so I take them from 4.
So is it just for students that are struggling in school, or is it also for maybe children that are ahead of where they should be?
It's for every ability. Okay. So a child who is struggling would see the acceleration quite fast. A child who's already strong can learn more. So we don't follow school curriculum. It's not that we don't cover what school covers. It's just that if a student has mastered year 2 content and they've got that drive and the ability to achieve more, why not? So that's why we say we don't follow school curriculum, because a child who's in year 4 can be doing GCSE level work.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because I've got 2 children. My eldest, she's very intelligent, so she's conversational already. 2 years old, so I was thinking of what programs I can get her involved in so she can excel. Yeah,
absolutely.
But that's my selfish needs. We'll do more podcasts.
No. This
She's
is
got questions for you.
that motivate me to feel like there's another child that could benefit.
What challenges would you say you face as educator and a program director at the moment?
Okay, the challenges. There's so many challenges. Let me start from basically trying to manage the different abilities.
Yeah. Because
you have a set time that you need to work with these kids and everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What's the set time that you get daily to work with kids in the program?
Yeah, so at one of my centers, both centers one of my centers I run 3 days a week, the other one 2 days a week. And the students come after school roughly 3:15, from 3:15 or so, and we finish around 6 weekdays. And then on the weekend, on one of the centers, I run from 10 all the way to 2. So it's a drop-in session. Well, it used to be. Now I time slot every student just to make sure that everyone gets that focused attention. So they have the drop-in session slots for them to come in, and we help them. So going back to the question of challenges, when the students have varying levels, what I do is I have quite a few number of staff. I have about 16 member of staff.
That's a big team.
The reason why I do that is not because I couldn't have lower numbers, but it's just I want parents to see that their child is getting that attention. Hence the reason why they brought them to me. The challenge would be making sure that I set. So I have to observe every single student. So I rely on my able staff to give me feedback. So at the end of each class, they have to give me how each child has performed that day. They can also give feedback to the parents. and then it's down for me to then prepare for the next week's session. So that's one challenge. Another challenge is trying to keep ahead with the technology. You know, you can't be stagnant. You have to make sure that you follow the trend. So that's one thing. Other thing as well is just managing staff, making sure that I have work-life balance. You know, at the moment I have in total close to 200 subjects, and yeah, that just requires individualizing each and every one of those 200.
So how do you stay focused and motivated? Because you've been doing it, 15 years now. So how do you stay focused and motivated in your role?
Okay, the motivation will come by balancing, knowing that I have done my work diligently, and then I have my self-care. I go to the gym. I try as much as possible to have a separation between work and life.
What gives me joke the other day when I came to the house? Obviously, I know Ruben goes to the gym because he's always posting all the time. But to see like even the younger daughters all want to go gym as well. So they're 16 and 12.
The 20 you got 6 and the twins are 20. 12.
12,
Yeah.
So the 16-year-old is starting gym, but the 12-year-old wants to go gym as well. But the 12-year-old she's tall though. She's tall early. So one twin, she's tall, the other twin shorter. Okay. But I was saying to Jaden, I was like, you're gonna grow tall. I don't think he understands. He might end up being the tallest.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand because he's small right now. But he thinks that, I'm small. I said to him, nah, you're going to end up being the tallest.
That's what they say at some point. One of the boy twin usually surpass. Yeah.
So the sister's a good indicator. So what would you say has been like a success story in a program that you'd be very proud of? Like one of the kids that has done super brilliant. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, there's so many success stories. I think my majority of it would be parents coming to me and just really almost wanting to hug me, wanting to hug me to say thank you, saying thank you that the school they didn't think that a child would be able to achieve, and they can see the achievements now. But I think recently the one that really got my heart was a student. I have a section for special needs. So the special needs division, they get one-to-one. They're in a separate room altogether and they get one-to-one. And the parent of this child came and asked for a photo with me and the child, because the child had done her first achievement test, passed it very well. This is a child that they thought couldn't write, couldn't read. She's not very verbal. She couldn't write, but in a space of about 2 months, she was able to write the numbers, and the assessment she did was also included additions. And tears came. I had goosebumps because the parents were like, please, can you come and take picture? I couldn't believe my child has achieved this. So those kind of moments really is what keeps me going. Yeah.
So what do you think about like the public sector and public education, like in terms of helping the special needs students? Because obviously in the, like, let's say secondary school, for example, you've got classes like 30-1, for example. So the special needs children in these places don't always get the attention. So what do you think? Like, how would you improve that if you was in a school or head of like education in a school?
What I would really prefer within a school is to give them that individualized learning experience. They shouldn't be just put together with all the other children who are able, because all that will do is just tell the assistants or tell the students that they have needs, so they're okay not learning with the rest. So they kind of neglect them. So that's not good, and this is why you find parents fighting to put their children in special needs school. And I have had to write letters as well to schools and on appeals also to just accelerate that decision. Even in special schools, they need to have personalized, individualized program. Special needs can vary, from the spectrum to the spectrum. The schools have to identify if a child only needs the essential skills or if the child needs to learn fractions. There'll be some students with needs that all you need to do is just get them the basics, just get them to know just the basics so that they can navigate life, and knowing if you pay for something, you get change. So they have to individualize each child's learning journey. And that's what Cuman does.
Okay. Would that be expensive to implement in schools? Because I see like a lot of like private academies and stuff coming. Like you got Harris, you got Oasis, etc. So there must be a lot of money in education. Yeah. However, how is that being spent? Like, because if these private companies and stuff are taking on bad performing schools, turning them around, there's got to be money there.
Yeah, well, in terms of the money making, or
in terms of there's got to be profit for the business owner that's collecting all the schools and whatnot. But is it do the kids see that money?
I don't know. It's a tricky one because I'm not in the school.
No, of course,
system. So there is money if you're a private company or a private school. There is money because parents would do anything to pay for the child's knowledge or to pay for the child's education. But in terms of a special needs school that is public, there's limited amount of funds. The government is struggling to cater for so many of these kids now. What I'm finding, and this is why I had to create a special needs division within my center, is because a lot of them are now coming through the doors. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what the trend. I just don't know why we're seeing it's more prevalent now. I'm not sure why there are more now. Yeah.
That's great. What changes would you say you've seen in a lot of the students since they started in the program? Like confidence-wise, like different things. Like, what would you say? What changes have you seen in a lot of them?
So I would say, primarily, that confidence, knowing that you can now do it. I would say they're gaining in independence, and a lot of my students as well are seeing what it means to have a growth mindset, because that's one of the things. Aside educational skills that we're teaching, there are other skills that we're teaching them. So we're seeing students interact more with other children that are not within their school, so they have to learn how to communicate effectively.
Their social skills.
Exactly. They need to know how to, play. So when the students finish and waiting for the parents to collect them, we have a little library zone where they can read books, do crosswords, paint, interact with others, just talk. So they have to. That's another kind of learning that they are acquiring at my center. So I'll say the confidence, and we don't just celebrate success, or we don't just celebrate like passing a test. We celebrate even the smallest one. Even if a child makes a mistake, we encourage them to use that as a learning. It's a part of the process. It's part of the process. So those kind of things you might not gain from school because you've got this one teacher, you've got an assistant, but we are here now trying to empower them and just say you can actually become, have all these skills.
I was going to say, how do you assess the progress and development of each student, and also what strategies do you use to push their learning?
So your first question is, how do I assess their progress? So we assess the progress based on their daily work. The students come to our center once a week. We're open 3 days a week, but they come once just so that we can, it can be a smaller group. So they come and they bring the work that they've done at home to us. We assess those and then plan for the next class. So I assess based on the homework that they're bringing back. I assess the classwork. We also assess based on the achievement test that they complete to be able to advance them to the next level. And so that's how we assess. And your second question was.
Strategies that
Strat-
used to keep them engaged in learning.
Oh, okay. So, I think the strategy, the top strategy that we use is just praising them. We used to do sticker charts, but I think it became all about the stickers. Miss, I haven't got my sticker yesterday from yesterday, miss. No. So now we praise them and we just show them that they are capable students who can choose to study hard, be independent, because knowledge is power. If you have knowledge, you can do anything. So we just praising them and just encouraging them to have a growth mindset.
How do you handle difficult students and parents? Have you ever had to deal with that issue in the past 15 years?
They always say customer is right. In as much as you know what you're doing as a business owner. Well, I believe a customer is right. For a parent to come with a concern or a child with a concern, you've got to take that seriously. You've got to see where they're coming from. Then it's up to me to try to settle their concern.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in performance between, let's say, like a public sector kind of student and a student that's kind of come to Cuman? Like, do you see like a real noticeable change between the level that the kids are able to kind of operate at?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The students that come to Cuman accelerate faster than those that are just relying on the school homework that they get. So for example, when we teach students or when we guide them, we don't water down the topic. So if we're showing a student how to do simultaneous equation, we're not going to give them the basics. Okay, we're going to advance it so that we cover all the grounds. So regardless how it's being set in the exam, you can actually apply yourself. If parents come to me sometimes, let's say a student who's in year 6, and I identify weaknesses where they are not able to multiply, they're not well versed in all their bonds, and they start from those foundational levels just so that we can cover those gaps and move faster. You hear parents saying, but my child is already doing fractions. But that's not the kind of fractions we do. We don't just do the basic. I want your child to be able to be confident enough to sit and complete an advanced level fractions. Yeah.
So then is Cuman affordable for the like the average kind of like family? Because I think a lot of barriers to entry at the moment to things like extracurricular things specifically is finances. So is Cuman something that's accessible to the average family, or?
Well, it all depends, their income.
Yeah, of course.
So presently, my fees are £70 a month.
Okay.
Per subject. If you work it out per day, you're dividing that by 30, 31.
Yeah, if you're coming 4 times a week, basically.
Well, the students come once a week, so 4 times a week, a month, yeah. So they come 4 times. But then we don't look at it like that, because don't forget that, the fee they're paying for is for the material, and they're doing those materials on a daily basis. Yeah. If they're coming 4 times a week, it's just going to be just 4 times, but they have homework as well that they do. But it depends how hungry an instructor is in able to grow or scale their business. So I'm often registered at both centers, and by having been often registered, it means that my safeguarding has to be top notch, and this is why I have a receptionist, I have enough staff to make sure that we're spotting or there's anything safeguarding issues. So with that, parents can get help from the government. So if a parent is on universal credit, obviously they assess based on individual cases. They can get some allowance because it's part of childcare. They drop their kids, we help them. It's almost like helping them with homework. So they get assistance there. They can also get something called tax-free childcare, which is an account you can open with the government, and you put money in the account. The government will give you back 20%. Okay. And so you can put £100 in there. By the time you open your eyes, you've got 120. So that is an assistance as well.
You say education is still the greatest equalizer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you have education, so it's a powerful tool. If you have that, then there is not much disparity between classes. You know, someone who, let's say, comes from a very wealthy background and has gone to university, let's say University of Cambridge or Oxford, they've got a degree. Then you have someone who throughout their years, they went to public school, they did Cuman, they excelled, they went to a very good grammar school, can also get into Oxford and Cambridge University. So now there is no difference. They're on the same level. And also when they're applying for jobs, the employer will be looking, okay, they've got this degree, they also have this degree. So it kind of like equalizes the playing field, so to speak. Yeah.
This channel, I know, always triggers them. They love money talk.
Yeah.
So, could someone who's a Cuman instructor earn really well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It depends how hungry you are. I would say I live Cuman, I breathe Cuman. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, but I dabbled into this just by the pure fact that my child didn't get into the school we wanted. I started him on this program, then the opportunity came for me to take it over. So if you just work out £70 per month for the close to 200 subjects, you can just work that out. I'm not putting you on the spot, but then that gives you how much an instructor can equally earn. Obviously, we have to pay royalty to the Cuman. Cuman is a franchise, which we're using their name, and you pay royalty. So your royalty level will reduce if you become fully qualified, which I am. And to become fully qualified, there's a lot of process you have to go through. You have to advance in your maths and in English, etc. So I've done that, and so it's capped. So the more students I have, the better for my pocket.
What's the most students you can take on in a centre, you think?
As many as I can. Just because I can expand on the number of days. Okay. Before I used to run just 2 days. I introduced a third day. Students come once a week, and I have roughly 2 students per teacher. For those that are special needs, they have 1-to-1. Those that are super independent, they sit to do the work independently. After they've done the work, we do the marking and we do the correction and feedback. So you can really grow. You can really grow. Obviously, you have costs that will shrink that margin. You've got costs such as the staff cost, the hall hire,